Hello, chosen ones. Chosen ones, I need you to listen up because what I'm about to tell you might be uncomfortable for some, but it's the hard truth. If you're not a chosen one, this might not land the same way, but if you are, you'll feel every word I say. Here's the reality. The people who've decided to make you their enemy, they're about to learn a lesson they won't forget. Messing with you is going to be the biggest mistake of their lives. You see, the power that flows through you isn't just from you, it's from something much bigger. You're backed by forces they can't see, let alone understand. And karma has its eyes on them. What they've done to you will come back to them in ways they never imagined. I know some of you feel like you're constantly under attack, that people are always trying to knock you down, but here's the thing. Every attack, every betrayal, is just making you stronger. It's sharpening your purpose, your focus, and your resolve. So, stick with me till the end, because this isn't just about those who are trying to hurt you. It's about you realizing how unstoppable you truly are. You are chosen for a reason. Your path is divinely protected, and every time they push against you, they push themselves closer to their own downfall. Watch this video because by the end you'll understand why they've already lost, and you haven't even begun to show them your full power. Number 1. Spiritual backlash. Let's dive into spiritual backlash, a force so powerful that most people can't even comprehend it. When you mess with a chosen one, you're not just picking a fight on the physical or psychological level. You're waging war with forces far beyond your understanding. And let me tell you, the universe doesn't take kindly to that. Chosen ones walk with purpose, and that purpose is often backed by something bigger than themselves. Call it divine energy, cosmic alignment, or the hand of karma itself. When someone tries to harm them, they aren't just attacking a person. They're disrupting a divine plan, and the universe, it doesn't let that slide. Here's the thing about karma when it comes to chosen ones. It doesn't just strike, it obliterates. It's not a slow payback or a small inconvenience. It's a full-scale collapse of everything their enemies thought was secure. Careers crumble, relationships fall apart, and the peace they took for granted becomes a distant memory. Why? Because they interfered with someone who was protected by forces they didn't understand. Enemies often think they're in control, but they fail to see the bigger picture. They don't realize that every move they make against a chosen one is being recorded, magnified, and prepared for a cosmic reckoning. And here's the kicker. It's not just about punishment. It's about balance. The universe isn't petty, it's precise. When someone disrupts a chosen one's path, the backlash is designed to restore equilibrium. And that restoration is anything but gentle. What's even more chilling is how sudden it can be. One moment, everything seems fine for the enemy, and the next, their world is in chaos. They lose what they value most, often in ways they never saw coming. And as the chosen one rises stronger than ever, their enemies are left wondering how everything went so wrong, so fast. So here's the truth. Messing with a chosen one is a gamble no one should take. The spiritual backlash isn't just real, it's ruthless. And when karma steps in, there's no hiding from the storm. Number 2, karmic ripple effect. Let's unpack the karmic ripple effect, a concept that takes karma to a whole new level when chosen ones are involved. For most people, the consequences of their actions are direct and contained. But when someone wrongs a chosen one, the effects don't stop with them. It spreads outward, touching everything and everyone connected to them, sometimes for generations. Here's how it works. Chosen ones are deeply connected to universal energy. Their lives carry a purpose so profound that any interference with it disrupts the balance of something much larger than a single person. When enemies come for them, whether through betrayal, deceit, or malice, they unleash an energy that doesn't just bounce back, it magnifies. It's like throwing a stone into a still pond. The ripples don't stop at the first wave. They expand endlessly, reaching shores far beyond what the person ever intended. The consequences can be staggering. A single act of harm against a chosen one doesn't just affect the person who committed it. It spills over into their lives, their families, and sometimes even their descendants. Health issues, financial ruin, broken relationships, or inexplicable misfortunes. These are just some of the ways the universe restores balance when someone crosses the line. And here's the most sobering part. The magnitude of the ripple matches the intensity of the offense. The deeper the harm, the stronger the energy that returns. This isn't about vengeance. It's about the universe ensuring that the imbalance caused by hurting a chosen one is corrected, even if it takes decades. Enemies often don't realize the weight of their actions in the moment. They think their choices are isolated, that they can escape unscathed. But when karma catches up, it doesn't just knock on their door, it kicks it in, bringing with it a reckoning that leaves them wondering how it all went so wrong. The karmic ripple effect is a powerful reminder. Messing with a chosen one isn't just a personal mistake, it's a legacy of regret. The energy they unleash doesn't just return, it rewrites the lives of everyone involved, proving that some battles are better left unchosen. Number 3. Psychological edge. Let's dive into the psychological edge that chosen ones possess, a level of mental mastery that makes them nearly untouchable. When it comes to facing enemies, chosen ones don't just rely on physical strength or brute force. They tap into a deeper, more powerful weapon, their understanding of human nature. Chosen ones know their enemies better than the enemies know themselves. They see through the facades, the insecurities, and the hidden motives, using that knowledge to stay 10 steps ahead. This psychological advantage is not about manipulation. It's about insight. Chosen ones have a unique ability to read people, to understand their fears, desires, and weaknesses without them even saying a word. They watch how their enemies react in different situations, how they carry themselves, and what drives them. This allows the chosen one to predict their enemy's next move with chilling accuracy. While enemies think they're plotting against the chosen one is already aware of their plans, often before the enemy even realizes the true nature of their own intentions. It's like a game of chess where the chosen one isn't just reacting. They're anticipating the opponent's every move, using their knowledge to control the flow of the game. This psychological edge isn't just about outsmarting an enemy in the moment. It's about understanding the long-term patterns, knowing when to push and when to hold back, when to strike and when to wait. Chosen ones can play the long game because they see the entire board, while their enemies are still focused on the small, immediate moves. And here's the kicker. The more an enemy tries to scheme against a chosen one, the more predictable they become. The chosen one's deep understanding of human psychology means that each attempt to disrupt or harm them only exposes the enemy's own vulnerabilities. In the end, this psychological mastery ensures the chosen one always has the upper hand. Their enemies may think they're playing a game of power, but the chosen one is playing a much deeper, more strategic game, one that leaves them not just surviving but thriving, while their enemies are caught in traps of their own making. Number 4. Energy vampires. Beware. Let's talk about energy vampires. The people who try to drain a chosen one's energy, spirit, or essence, believing they can take what doesn't belong to them. These individuals often come in the form of manipulators, abusers, or toxic people who think they can weaken the chosen one's resolve or diminish their power. But here's the twist. Anyone who tries to siphon energy from a chosen one ends up draining themselves instead. Chosen ones operate on a higher frequency. Their resilience, purpose, and inner strength act as a protective shield. When energy vampires come around trying to feed off their light, they don't get what they want. They get burned by the very energy they sought to take. It's like trying to siphon gasoline from a fire. Instead of getting a source of fuel, they only end up scorched. This happens because the chosen one's energy is aligned with a greater source, something cosmic, something that flows through them, not just from them. When someone tries to steal that energy, they're not just fighting the chosen one, they're fighting the universe itself. And the universe doesn't take kindly to those who prey on its chosen. So what happens next? The energy vampire finds themselves depleted, their efforts backfiring in ways they didn't anticipate. The more they try to weaken the chosen one, the more powerless they become. Their intentions drain them, and instead of seeing the chosen one falter, they collapse under the weight of their own negativity. It's a form of self-sabotage, and the universe ensures they feel the consequences of their actions. In the end, energy vampires not only fail, they lose. They lose power, lose stability, and lose the very essence they tried to steal. The chosen one, on the other hand, remains untouched, continuing to shine brighter than ever. And the message here is simple. Try to drain a chosen one, and you'll only end up draining yourself. Number 5, eternal comeback. Let's explore the concept of the eternal comeback, something that defines the essence of a chosen one. Unlike others who might crumble or fade away after a defeat, a chosen one's falls are never final. They're simply setups for an even more powerful return. Each setback, each failure, each moment of vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but a precursor to something greater. What most people see as a loss, chosen ones see as an opportunity. They know that life isn't linear, and true strength isn't about avoiding failure. It's about how you rise after being knocked down. Every time a chosen one faces a challenge that seems insurmountable, they learn, adapt, and grow. Their defeats are not just part of the journey, they're the fire that forges their legend. This eternal comeback isn't about bouncing back quickly, it's about coming back wiser, sharper, and more determined than ever. A chosen one doesn't just pick themselves up after a fall, they use the experience to gain deeper insights into their own strength, their purpose, and the world around them. With each defeat, they evolve, and with each resurgence, they grow more unstoppable. What's truly remarkable is that their comebacks are legendary because they come at the most unexpected times. Enemies might think they've defeated the chosen one, but they don't realize the chosen one is already in the process of transformation. The moment their enemies start to feel secure, the chosen one rises again stronger than before, with new wisdom and power that no one can anticipate. The beauty of the eternal comeback is that it's not just personal. Each time a chosen one returns stronger, they inspire others. Their resilience becomes a symbol of hope and power, a reminder that no defeat is ever permanent. So, to anyone who thinks they've seen the last of a chosen one after a downfall, think again. Every defeat is just a setup for a greater resurgence, and when the chosen one comes back, it's always with more force, more wisdom, and more purpose than ever before. This is the power of the eternal comeback. Number 6, the unseen army. Let's dive into the unseen army that surrounds every chosen one. While enemies might believe they're targeting an individual, what they don't understand is that a chosen one is never truly alone in their battles. The chosen one's strength comes from far more than just their own will. They are backed by an entire network of unseen support, a spiritual army that is constantly working on their behalf. This army isn't made up of physical warriors. It's composed of ancestors, spiritual forces, and universal energies that have always been aligned with them, whether they realize it or not. This unseen army is vast and powerful. It operates in realms beyond human perception, where the forces of fate, destiny, and divine protection are always in motion. Every choice, every step a chosen one takes, is backed by energies that ensure their path remains aligned with their higher purpose. Whether it's the wisdom of ancestors who've walked the same journey, the unseen guidance of spiritual forces, or the quiet hand of the universe pushing them forward, chosen ones are always being supported on a level most can't comprehend. For enemies, this is a nightmare. They think they're simply up against a person, maybe even a vulnerable one, but they're facing much more. They're facing the weight of generations, the power of spiritual realms, and the very fabric of the universe itself. These unseen forces don't just defend the chosen one. They ensure that any enemy who crosses them will regret it, not just in this life, but across lifetimes. What's even more profound is that this support isn't visible. It's felt. It's the quiet moments of clarity in times of chaos, the inexplicable opportunities that appear at the perfect time, and the protection that manifests when things seem most dire. Chosen ones often move through life with a sense of knowing that no matter how fierce the battle, they are not alone. So, when enemies think they've isolated the chosen one or created an opening, they're forgetting about the vast invisible army that surrounds them. That army ensures the Chosen One's success and vengeance no matter what. The result? Those who try to harm the Chosen One are not only fighting a person, they're fighting forces far beyond their understanding, forces that will ensure they fall while the Chosen One continues to rise. Number 7. Immortal legacy. Let's talk about immortal legacy, a defining trait of Chosen Ones. What sets them apart isn't just their ability to overcome challenges or defeat enemies, it's the mark they leave behind. Chosen Ones don't just live. They create, inspire, and shift the very fabric of the world around them. Even when their enemies think they've won a small battle, the legacy of a Chosen One continues to grow, outlasting every temporary setback. The reason Chosen Ones are so unforgettable is that their lives have depth and meaning. They don't fight battles for ego or personal gain. They fight for purpose. Their struggles, sacrifices, and triumphs resonate with others on a level that goes beyond the present moment. Their story becomes a blueprint for resilience, a symbol of what it means to rise above adversity and claim greatness. Enemies, on the other hand, are often motivated by jealousy, greed, or fear. Their actions might cause temporary harm, but they lack the power to leave anything lasting behind. They fade into irrelevance because their existence is rooted in trying to destroy rather than create. And here's the irony: their attacks often elevate the Chosen One's story, making them even more legendary. Even if a Chosen One is brought down momentarily, their impact continues to ripple through time. Their words, actions, and legacy inspire generations, fueling movements and shaping lives. History remembers the Chosen Ones because they embody values that transcend their individual lives: courage, perseverance, and the ability to turn even their darkest moments into light for others. Meanwhile, their enemies are forgotten. No one remembers the people who tried to stop greatness. They're footnotes, if they're remembered at all. The Chosen One's life, however, becomes a testament to the fact that true power isn't about winning every battle. It's about leaving a mark that cannot be erased. So here's the truth. Even if an enemy manages to score a fleeting victory, they've already lost the war. The Chosen One's legacy is immortal, ensuring their name, their purpose, and their story will outlast everyone who ever stood against them. Number 8. Unexpected allies. Let's delve into unexpected allies, one of the most extraordinary ways the universe works in favor of Chosen Ones. When Chosen Ones step into their purpose, they don't just walk alone. The universe conspires on their behalf, orchestrating connections and alliances in ways that seem almost magical. Enemies who think they've cornered a Chosen One often find themselves blindsided, suddenly outnumbered and overwhelmed by forces they never saw coming. Here's the thing about Chosen Ones: their energy is magnetic. Their authenticity, resilience, and unwavering commitment to their path naturally attract people who share their vision or feel compelled to support them. These allies aren't always obvious or expected. Sometimes they show up as strangers with the right resources, mentors offering wisdom, or even former enemies who realize they're on the wrong side of history. The beauty of these alliances is that they often form without the Chosen One even asking. It's as if the universe has a built-in safety net, weaving together people, events, and opportunities to protect and uplift them. These allies bring skills, insights, and strength that amplify the Chosen One's power, creating an unstoppable force that no enemy can withstand. And here's the kicker: enemies rarely see it coming. They think they've isolated the Chosen One, assuming they're vulnerable or alone. But just when they believe they've won, reinforcements appear, stronger, smarter, and more connected than they could have imagined. Suddenly, the Chosen One isn't just surviving, they're thriving, surrounded by a network of support that turns the tide completely. This isn't just coincidence, it's alignment. When Chosen Ones stay true to their path, the universe ensures they're never left to fight their battles alone. Even in their darkest moments, help arrives in the most unexpected forms, proving that they are protected and guided by forces far beyond human understanding. So, to anyone plotting against a Chosen One, here's a warning: their strength isn't just their own. The universe has a way of rallying behind them, assembling powerful allies who will ensure their victory. Mess with a Chosen One, and you won't just face them, you'll face everyone who's been divinely sent to support them. Number 9. Incomprehensible vision. Let's explore incomprehensible vision, a gift that sets chosen ones leagues apart from the rest. It's not just about being intuitive or sharp. It's about seeing life on a completely different plane. Chosen ones operate with a foresight that most people can't even begin to understand. They don't just plan for the next move. They see the entire chessboard years ahead while others are still figuring out the basics. This ability to see beyond the immediate makes them nearly impossible to outsmart. Enemies often walk into situations thinking they're in control, oblivious to the fact that the chosen one has already anticipated their moves. By the time they think they've gained the upper hand, they're already wrapped up in a plan far bigger than they could comprehend. Here's the kicker. Enemies often don't realize they're not the hunters, they're the pawns. Their actions, fueled by malice or envy, end up playing right into the chosen one's hands. What looks like vulnerability from the chosen one is often a calculated move to draw out intentions, expose weaknesses, or set the stage for a greater purpose. This kind of vision isn't accidental. It's born from their connection to something deeper. Chosen ones have an innate ability to read people, sense energy, and understand the patterns of life. They trust their intuition like a compass, guiding them through situations where logic alone would fail. It's as if they're tapped into a source of wisdom that exists beyond time and space. Enemies, in their arrogance, mistake this foresight for luck or coincidence. They think the chosen one's victories are random or undeserved. But in truth, the chosen one saw the outcome long before the game even began. It's not just strategy, it's destiny in motion. So when people try to undermine or sabotage chosen ones, they're not just up against a person. They're up against a force that has already accounted for every possibility. The result? Enemies end up serving the very plan they tried to derail. That's the power of incomprehensible vision, being so far ahead that even those who oppose you become instruments in your rise. Number 10. Turning pain into power. Let's talk about turning pain into power, one of the most extraordinary traits of chosen ones. What sets them apart isn't that they avoid pain or betrayal. It's that they embrace it, transform it, and weaponize it. Every time they're attacked, every time someone tries to break them, they take that pain and forge it into something stronger, sharper, and undeniably powerful. Here's the secret. Chosen ones understand that pain isn't the end, it's a beginning. Betrayals, failures, losses, these are things that crush most people. But for chosen ones, they're fuel. They take that betrayal, that heartbreak, that attack, and they study it. They learn from it. They figure out why it happened, who caused it, and how to make sure it never catches them off guard again. And in that process, they grow stronger, smarter, and more resilient. The irony is that enemies who try to tear down chosen ones often end up being their greatest teachers. By attacking, they reveal their own weaknesses, their patterns, and their true intentions. Chosen ones absorb this knowledge and use it to build strategies that their enemies can't even comprehend. It's like handing someone the blueprint to your own downfall without realizing it. Even more impressive is how chosen ones channel this pain into their purpose. They don't just grow stronger for themselves. They use their experiences to inspire, uplift, and guide others. That's why their rise is so unstoppable. They take what was meant to destroy them and turn it into a force that benefits not just them, but everyone around them. And here's where it gets poetic. The more enemies try to harm them, the more they contribute to the chosen one's rise. Every attack, every ounce of negativity becomes another brick in the foundation of their strength. It's like trying to extinguish a fire by throwing wood on it. It only burns brighter. Chosen ones don't just survive pain, they conquer it. They transform it into wisdom, strength, and purpose, leaving their enemies wondering how their attacks only made them more powerful. That's the ultimate revenge, rising higher because of the very pain that was meant to pull you down. Number 11. Timeless patience. Let's talk about timeless patience, one of the most underrated yet powerful traits of chosen ones. While the average person seeks immediate gratification or a quick fix, Chosen ones understand a universal truth. True power lies in waiting. They know that vengeance, justice, or even success doesn't have to be immediate to be effective. Instead, they play the long game, trusting that the universe will align everything in their favor when the time is right. This patience isn't born out of weakness or fear. It's a deliberate choice, a quiet confidence. Chosen ones don't rush to retaliate when they're wronged because they see the bigger picture. They understand that life is a series of interconnected events, and rushing into action can disrupt the natural flow of what's meant to unfold. Instead, they bide their time, watching as the universe meticulously prepares the perfect moment for balance to be restored. Their enemies, on the other hand, often mistake this patience for passivity. They think they've won because there's no immediate retaliation. But what they don't realize is that chosen ones are observing, learning, and quietly building their strength. By the time the tables turn, and they always do, it's not just the chosen one who wins, it's the universe delivering a poetic form of justice that's impossible to ignore. Chosen ones also recognize that time is the ultimate equalizer. People who act out of spite or malice often dig their own graves without realizing it. The chosen one doesn't need to get their hands dirty because life has a way of exposing and dismantling those who operate on low vibrations. Meanwhile, chosen ones stay focused on their path, knowing that their patience isn't just about waiting, it's about trusting in the process. Timeless patience isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's knowing that what's meant for you cannot be taken away and that those who wrong you will eventually face the consequences of their actions. Chosen ones trust the timing of the universe because they know it never fails. They don't chase revenge. They let karma do its work, and when it does, it's always worth the wait. Number 12. Weaponizing wisdom. Let's talk about weaponizing wisdom, a skill that sets chosen ones apart from everyone else. This isn't just about being smart or educated, it's about turning every single experience, no matter how small or painful, into a tool for your growth and protection. Chosen ones don't just go through life passively, they absorb it. Every mistake, every betrayal, every moment of suffering gets analyzed, understood, and transformed into something useful. Here's why this makes them untouchable. Most people react. They repeat the same mistakes or fall into the same traps because they don't stop to ask, what am I supposed to learn from this? Chosen ones, on the other hand, approach life like a chessboard. They see every setback as a move they can learn from and eventually outplay. Now imagine being an enemy of someone like that. You think you've found their weakness, but by the time you strike, they've already turned that weakness into a strength. You can't anticipate their next move because they don't stick to predictable patterns. They're evolving faster than you can plan, adapting with a speed that leaves their enemies dazed and confused. It's not just about survival, it's about mastery. Chosen ones weaponize their wisdom by recognizing that every situation, good or bad, teaches them something they can use. Someone lies to them? They learn how to spot dishonesty before it happens. Someone tries to tear them down? They figure out how to build themselves stronger, layer by layer. This ability doesn't just frustrate their enemies, it terrifies them. Because the more you try to hurt a chosen one, the more dangerous they become. They'll outgrow your attacks, outsmart your strategies, and outlast your intentions. And the best part? They don't even have to fight you directly. The wisdom they gain will guide them to rise above, leaving you behind in the dust. This is why chosen ones are nearly untouchable. Their wisdom isn't just knowledge, it's a weapon, a living, breathing strategy that makes them impossible to defeat. So if you think you've outsmarted one, think again. They're already 10 steps ahead. Number 13. Silent thunder. Let's talk about silent thunder, the unique power that chosen ones possess, the ability to strike when no one sees it coming. It's not about loud displays of power or showing off every move. No, the real strength of a chosen one lies in their silence, their patience, and their strategic mind. You see, chosen ones aren't in a rush. They don't need to make noise to be heard, or take immediate action to be noticed. They know the power of stillness, the power of letting others underestimate them. And that underestimation, It's exactly where the danger lies for their enemies. The more they ignore or dismiss a chosen one, the more vulnerable they become. Because behind that silence is a mind calculating every move, every step, every detail. While others are making noise, reacting, and trying to force things into motion, the chosen one is staying calm, waiting and watching. They understand that real power doesn't need to shout for attention. It doesn't need to prove itself. Real power is about timing, and when the time comes for a chosen one to act, it's as if the universe itself aligns with their purpose. The strike is swift, precise, and devastating. But here's the kicker. Their enemies won't even see it coming. They'll be too busy underestimating the calm, quiet presence of the chosen one, thinking they have time, thinking they have control. And in that moment of complacency, that's when the chosen one's thunder strikes. It's not just a physical blow, it's a mental, emotional, and spiritual one. The consequences of that strike are far-reaching and undeniable. The silent thunder isn't just about causing damage. It's about making sure the enemy never sees the consequences coming. By the time they realize they've been outsmarted, it's too late. Their own arrogance and assumption of control become the very thing that leads to their downfall. The chosen one doesn't need to shout to show their strength. Their silence speaks louder than any noise ever could. And when they act, it's the storm that's been quietly building all along. Thank you for tuning in, chosen ones. See you in the next vid. Bye for now and stay blessed.